Hey everyone, thanks for joining me. Today we're going to be working on a super fun DIY project. We're going to make a winter garland, and it's going to feature product from Reneabouquets.com. I have been designing for Reneabouquets.com going into my 6th year, and I continue to design for this company because of its unique quality product that Renee has to offer. So today we're going to be focusing on using some beautiful board laser cut chipboard and some printed beautiful board laser cut chipboard. And if you don't know what this is, you're soon gonna find out. I think you're gonna be happy with this product. It's really amazing. Now I will have all the links down below to everything Reneabouquets so that you can find more inspiration from other designers on the design team. Or if you join the Reneabouquets Artists with an Edge Facebook group, you will find inspiration from other just artists around the world that love designing with the Reneabouquets product. I will also have all the links down below to the product that I used on this project today. So if you click on that link, it will take you directly to that product that you are admiring. And hopefully it will inspire you to get some for yourself and make your own beautiful creations. Now let's get started. Okay, so before we get started on our winter garland, I want to go ahead and go over some of the beautiful board laser cut chipboard product from Reneabouquets.com that we're going to be using today. And I've chosen product that all kind of reflects like a winter theme since we're here in the month of January. So one of the first products, of course, you can see really easily. This is called Beautiful Words, Beautiful Board Laser Cut Chipboard. Gorgeous, Let It Snow. This is in the small size because I'm hoping it will fit in our shaker box that I'll show you in just a moment. Now, beautiful board, if you've never seen it, you can see how thick it is. It's about the thickness of a nickel. It's very sturdy, very wonderful quality. It's all handmade shot by Renee herself. It comes from a family recipe, and it's all made with material that is friendly. Okay, it doesn't have all those. Renee's all about creating product and stuff that is healthy for you and healthy for, you know, the environment. So it doesn't have all the yucky stuff in it. I can't tell you what's in it. It's a secret recipe. She won't even tell me. Even though, you know, I mean, I have been on her team the longest, but, you know, I don't get to know these things, but that's okay. Anyway, so Let It Snow, super cute. I just love it. Like I said, the small size. We're going to be using 3 different sets of snowflakes today. These are the Victorian snowflakes, one of the newest releases, and these come in a set of 6. Let me hold one in the palm of my hand for you so you can see how big they are. Just gorgeous. I love the design of them. I love all the swirls and things, so really pretty. So set of 6. These are snowflakes. They're actually, as soon as I can pick them up, come on, stop that. They're beautiful bits, beautiful board, beautiful bits. And what that means is they come in a little jar for you, and they're like tiny versions of designs. So these come from the regular snowflake set, beautiful board, beautiful bits snowflakes. Okay, and they come with a bunch in the set, but I'm just using these 2 out of the set, bunch of different designs. And then these ones are the winter snowflakes. Okay, this here, which of course we'll pull out and use, this is a beautiful box. It's ornament number 2. It's going to be a shaker box when we're all done. There's a bunch of different designs for shaker boxes, and this is actually an ornament shaker box. But what I loved about it was all the kind of decor around the edging on it. These are meant to use Reneabouquets beautiful beads in them, and let me grab that out. I can kind of show you. Okay, so these are beautiful beads. They're no-hole beads. You can see that they're just gorgeous. They're variegated in color. Renee has a lot of different options of colored beads that you could get in her shop. And when you get them, they come in all these different sizes, as you can see here. And so on a lot of her shaker boxes, they are made for the various sizes of the beads, so that if you do want to go that extra mile and add, they just slip right in, add your beads right in there. Oops, wrong hole, that one. Super cute. I mean, even down to just the tiniest beads. So you can go that extra mile to set those in here and add just a little extra flair to your project. However, I'm not going to use them today. Number one is because I don't have the right color in stock that I'm going to be working with today, which is grays and whites, but also because, you know, you don't have to use the beads on these, obviously, and I love it because they just look like little snowballs around it. So that's why I chose this ornament number 2 shaker box. Of course, I will show you how to put all the elements together because it does come with a lot of elements, but it's really easy. And of course, there are a lot of designs in stock, as I said. So let's put that aside. The other thing that we're going to be working with today are these, the other beautiful board, and these are actually beautiful board doilies. It's called Doily 1. It comes from the April in Paris line, but they come in a set of 3, and there's 3 different sizes in the sets. But what I like about them is, to me, they just remind me of a snowflake. So I'm going to use them as large snowflakes on our winter garland today. So I've got 2 of those for us. And then the printed beautiful board we're going to be working with today. I know, aren't these fabulous? I love them. These are the medium size. This one is called Diane's Snowman. I mean, isn't she just cute? And I love the snowman. I love the faces, the noses, the little crooked hats, holding the broom. Gorgeous. So I've got Diane's Snowman. And when you get printed beautiful board, usually, I mean, some are more in a set, but most are like 2 to a set with the right and left facing. A lot of them are just single-sided, so that's why you'll get the right and left facing. So Diane's Snowman, and this one is Jack's Snowman. Super sweet, both in the medium sizes. So that's going to be on our winter garland today. I had a hard time choosing because I didn't know if I wanted to go with these 2 or if I wanted to go with this one. He is super cute. This is called Snowball Fight with Clayton. Love it. But in the end, I chose these 2 just because. Anyway, and then some of the other product we'll be using mostly to fill our shaker box. Right, we're going to be using some Reneabouquets chunky glitter glass. We're going to work with the diamond, and it's basically a diamond color, a clear color. So fill our shaker box a little bit. Now, if you had the beautiful beads in, you know, the color you wanted, you could totally put some of these in your shaker box as well. I think I'm going to put a little bit of, this is light gray glitter glass. I've got just a tiny bit left, so I think I'm going to put a little bit of that in there. And these are Reneabouquets. These are no-hole micro beads. They are glass micro beads. I'm going to be using the silver. I just thought that'd make a little great texture inside that shaker box. And I may use some of this. This is shard glitter glass from Reneabouquets, and I've got the pearl color. So there is a color similar. I don't see the pearl in stock right now, but there's a color similar to it called diamond. And I thought these are great. It's like glitter glass. They are just like shards of broken glass. So I may put some of that in there as well. And then I may just add just some other normal regular glitter or sequins or whatever from my stash. But those are the product we're going to work with today from Reneabouquets. So now, first things first, I'm not going to go to the shaker box yet because I want to do a little bit of get my mind ready to go, embossing. Some of the snowflakes and stuff I'm going to use are, when you get the beautiful board, if it's just, you know, the plain beautiful board, they kind of have like a vintage white tone to them, which I love, and I normally leave that color. I don't have to do anything to it. I love it. It's perfect. Goes with most of my crafting. But sometimes I want them just a plain white shade, so I emboss them, or, you know, sometimes some other colors, blues or pink. But I'm going to leave some of them, like these big doilies, because of the coloring on the Printed Beautiful board. A little bit of that vintage white, it will come you know, in with it, match together nicely. But some of them I want them to stick out a little bit more, so I'm going to emboss them a little bit more of a white tone. So I'm going to emboss the Let It Snow, and I'm going to emboss these Victorian snowflakes. And then I'm going to emboss a couple of these just regular Beautiful Board, Beautiful Bits snowflakes. And in the winter snowflakes, I think they're going to go a couple in the shaker box, one outside, and I think I'm going to leave those the natural tone and color that they are. So in order to emboss, if you've never embossed before, there are products. It's called Versamark. It's a watermark stamp pad. Basically, it's clear. It's like a glue pad, basically. It's like a glue, real sticky on your product, but very, it's not, it's better to use this than just glue if you've never embossed before, because glue is too thick and runny, so you want like a stamp pad. They do make this in like bottle form with the foam top on it, but this is what you want to use because it's a really thin, almost non-existent layer of glue. All right, so I'm going to bring out a piece of paper here. I've got little trays that you can dump into. I'm just going to go with the paper. Now on these, I'm going to have to do front and back. Let's bring us out a little bit. Front and back because of the way they'll hang, but the other ones I can just do single-sided. So really when you're embossing, it's easy. You just kind of, like you're going to do stamping, you're just going to place your image, press a little bit into kind of that glue pad. Okay, I'm just going to do one side at a time right now. I'll do the other side off camera so you don't, I mean, it'll be the same process, but, you know, I just want to show you one side. Okay, glue on it. And I'll go ahead and come over here and get these in the glue as well. And when you emboss, you can emboss and get it done, and then if you want it to look thicker, you can go in and kind of do it again and do a second coat. And actually on this Let It Snow, I have to, it's the small size, but just kind of one little tip off of here prohibits it from fitting inside my shaker box. So I'm just going to come right on down here. Let's see, I'm going to go right to, just take that little tip off, just so it fits into my shaker box. Okay. And on the right side, of course, tap it into my glue. All right, then they have things that's called embossing powder. These Versamarks, I mean, if you look it up online, if you're an online shopper, Versamark watermark stamp pad. You can go to the major craft stores like not Walmart, Joann's, Michael's, Hobby Lobby, and then they have called embossing powder. This one is from Michael's, and it just says embossing powder on it. You can find whatever color you like. This is called Snow. It's just a plain white color. And what you do is you simply just, it'll come on really thick like this, but we tap off the excess, okay? So you're just simply going to shake it onto your pieces. Like that. And your bottle will probably run out, but you're not out because this stuff is so thin. And the reason you do it on a paper or catch it in a pan, because whatever you've not used, you shake off the excess and put it back into the jar. Okay? So now let's pick up our pieces here. Tap off the excess, and now you've got what looks like a powdery effect on here. Just a real powdery effect, okay? I'm going to grab all the rest of those out. Big one here. And then our Let It Snow. Okay, and then you take the excess, kind of fold your paper in half. Get it all to the center and back into the jar. And now you almost have a full jar again. All right? Okay, so now we want to take that powdery form into a melted form. So how we do that is with a heat tool. You can use a hair dryer. It will probably take a little longer. I actually have an industrial heat tool I got from Harbor Freight. And you can kind of use some tweezers to hold your piece a little bit because this gets awful hot. And what you do, since this is a powdery form, you're basically going to melt it with your heat tool until you see it come to like a, or heat it with your heat tool until you see it come to like a melted, one moment. Let me plug it in first, right? Okay. Plugged in. You heat it until it comes to like a melted kind of glossy look. Let me show you something here right now. Just kind of the stage in between. I know it'll probably be hard to see, but can you kind of see how this part's looking glossy and this part still looks not quite as white and a little bit powdery? Okay, so we're getting it melted and going to that glossy look. Okay, so let's show you up close now the difference, and I'll probably do 2 coats on this. Don't touch it while it's hot. So there's your powdery look, and there's your glossy look. Can you kind of see the difference? How that kind of looks almost a little more grayish almost, and that's white and glossy and smooth. Okay, so that's the effect I'm going here for. I'm going to do the rest of this off camera so you don't have to watch, and I'll be right back. Okay, so you can see the difference here of embossed, and this was the original color, so you can, of the beautiful board, so you can see the difference of the vintage white and the embossed. And this is what happens when we craft. I am deciding, because I was going to leave this kind of the same color as the printed beautiful board because it matches nicely, but I'm kind of digging the white on this, so I think I'm going to go ahead and do the large doily snowflakes. I'll do it off camera, of course. I'm going to emboss those, and then I think I'm just going to emboss the front of our shaker box. Okay, I've got all of my embossing done. Now there's 2 things I want to tell you. One I'm going to show you. Now I am using these doilies because, you know, that's what I have. But Renee does carry, you know, all her snowflakes. Many of them come in different sizes, of course, as all of her beautiful boards. So small, medium, large sizes. There are some that are like gigantic. I am just out of those right now, but they are different sizes. I'm just using these because that's what I have. But if you love the different designs of the snowflakes, make sure you check it out, and they are all large sizes. And the other thing, when I was mentioning to you about the Versamark ink, and you could, you know, look for it online or whatever if you're an online shopper, go into the craft stores, there is also, and I mentioned briefly about the dauber, and in my brain I was like, I need to show you that. But then I went right into the rest of the embossing. This is the dauber. It's by Ranger brand, and basically it's the same as this. It is kind of a liquid, but it comes out on this sponge dauber so that it comes out again really thin for embossing. And these are carried in Renee's shop. This is what it, and this is a 1 ounce. I've been using it forever and still has a ton in it. So the dauber is in Renee's shop, and she does carry by Ranger brand again an ink pad like this Versamark, and it's called the Big Emboss It ink pad. It's like a 4x6 size. So those are different options for you if you're already buying things from Renee's shop, of course, and you want to try your hand at the embossing and you want to kind of get either the large ink pad that she carries by Ranger or this Emboss It dauber. You know, you can get that there as part of your supply. So I wanted to make sure, I apologize because it was in my brain to show you, and then I went on to the embossing method, and I wanted to make sure I showed you that you know, Renee has lots of different mixed media and things in the shop, you know, that you can find to use on your projects, including things like these ink pads for embossing. Okay, so I've got everything all set and ready. Let's go to work first on getting our shaker box done. Okay, so let's go over what you get when you get a shaker box. Now, not all of them come with like an ornate frame, and there's all different ones and sizes, but a lot of them, if you just want just a kind of a plain shaker box like this and no big ornate frame, you know, that there is that option too, okay? So in the kit that I've got like 2 premium paper frames, okay? They're thinner than the beautiful board, but they're thick, like really thick. So premium paper, 2 of those, and then you're going to get 2 like beautiful board like inner frames, okay? And then you're going to get like 2 beautiful board, just these are like the support rings, okay? 2 beautiful board support rings. And then you'll get 2 pieces of acetate that's cut just to the right size of the particular, you know, shaker box you're getting. You're going to get a premium paper like outer, it's like a strip for your outer ring, okay? And then, you know, like I said, you may or may not have like a frame to go with it. All right, so what we're going to start with, and I would suggest, you know, a liquid glue. Not a hot glue. You definitely want a liquid glue. I'm going to go ahead and use Fabri-Tac, but I'm also going to use like a really thin foam brush, or you could use a paintbrush if you have a different liquid glue. You don't want the glue on there like all globby. Once you put it on, you want to like thin it out with your paintbrush so that it doesn't like leak out and get all over your acetate. Okay, so we're going to start with the premium paper scallop ring first. Okay, so you've got a premium paper, and then you're going to go in with your scallop beautiful board ring, and what we're going to do is I'm going to get glue on the premium paper first. Okay, and I'm just going to do a really thin ring because I am going to spread it out because my glue is a little bit thicker. Okay, and then I'm going to take my paintbrush, and I'm just going to, or foam brush, and just kind of paint it on, get rid of that ring of glue, which is actually kind of hard with the foam brush because my glue is so thick. You know, a thinner glue is probably going to work better, but this glue will work fine. It's just going to a little hard to kind of spread out the glob because it dries quickly, but it's going to work fine. And then you're going to bring in your beautiful board scallop ring, and you're going to put it together, but you're going to make sure you line up your scallops. So it's going to fit to the outside edge of your premium paper scallop. Okay, make sure you line it up, press, make sure it's all together, working quickly with Fabri-Tac glue. And then you're going to take one of your pieces of acetate, and you're going to press it right down into the center of both of those pieces. Okay, like this. Right down into that center. And my glue tape, I mean, I've got to work quick, but I've got to take a minute as well. So into the center, I'm going to hold it down and let it all set up so it's all nice and sticky and stuck together. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing with the next set. And with this Fabri-Tac, it actually, I went off camera and had to kind of re-glue. So this Fabri-Tac, I would suggest if you are using it, it's not as liquid as some other glues. I would just put a really thin layer, really thin all the way around, one thin layer. Take your beautiful board scallop piece, match it up, and then there should be, you can add a little bit more glue. Oops, sorry about that. A little bit more glue kind of right in that fold. Do not come close to the edge. Go right up next to that beautiful board ring there. So you're going to go right up against that edge, not too much at all, okay? Otherwise this is going to leak out onto your acetate, and then you're going to have a glue spot on your acetate, and that's going to look cruddy. So nice thin layer right up against that beautiful board scallop piece, like I said. You can go in and kind of wipe off and smear it a little bit with your finger if you want. Okay, and then you're going to come in. I'm sure that was off camera view. Sorry about that, but come in with your next acetate piece and just kind of press it down in. Okay, and then if you want, you can take like, a paintbrush head or end and just kind of help you to smooth that acetate piece down so it bonds to the glue. Okay. Alright, so we have our two pieces. So now we're going to take two pieces, and now we're going to take that paper strip, that premium paper strip, and we're just going to bring it end to end like this. What you're going to do is just a piece of Scotch tape. Okay, you're going to bring it that end to end so it Scotch tapes together nice and even, and then fold your tape over that just like that. So we have our nice premium paper piece together. Now we're going to use our support rings. Okay, so you're going to come in one support ring. You're going to put it into the center of that premium paper strip that we just put together, and you're going to push it, if you need to, like use a paintbrush, push it all the way down to that bottom edge. Okay, right against the flush to the table you're working on, but still inside that paper strip. Okay, so you see I've got it right inside that bottom edge, just like that. And then what you're going to want to do is take some glue. We're going to take glue and we're going to put it right onto that inner ring that we just placed in there. Wipe off the tip of my glue here. Nice thin layer again. Again, I have to go a little slower, so I apologize with this liquid glue. Like I said, I don't want a big glob and mess up my shaker box here. Okay, and then I'm going to just take like my finger and just kind of smear it a little bit, keeping it, wipe off any excess from that inner edge. A little bit of glue right in here actually, right? And then you're going to take it into one of your pieces with acetate up. Okay, you've got that premium paper circle here. You want the acetate up, all right? Because the bottom part is where the acetate's all nice and covered with that frame, so you want the inside that we've been working with. And then you're going to take this and right down and press it right into that inner circle where that acetate is. Okay? All nice and stuck in there. So what we're doing is creating our sides of our shaker box. Okay, let's press it all in there nice. There we go. Now we're going to go ahead, if you have a frame, which I have here, we're going to go ahead and add our frame. And I think I want to do, like, this will be my bottom. I guess really at this point it doesn't matter. But if you've got like an ornate frame piece, you're just going to go ahead now and you're going to press it on to that outer side that we just put on. You're going to go all the way to the bottom. Just press it, get it on there, and go all the way so it's flush to the bottom of your scallop piece. Okay, so we've got your frame on if you've got a frame. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take the other inner ring, okay, and you're going to press it. We're going to do the same thing as we just did on this bottom inner ring. So you're going to press it inside those strips of paper, kind of get it in there first, and then what you're going to do is get it inside that paper strip, and then you're going to pull it back up so it's flush to the top. Okay? Get it in there. It's going to fit nice and tight. Just get it inside the ring and just gently move it around. Get it so it's nice and flush up with the top edge. You can feel it all nice and flush there. Perfect. All right. Now, normally, obviously right here, we're going to add our top piece, and the top piece is where this is your flush and beautiful side, and your inner side is where you can see the acetate and this other little ring. You would put that right on top, and then you have your shaker box, but not yet, because we want to add to shaker box, right? We want to add the pretties inside. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and add all our little yummies. So my yummies, I've got the little snowflakes I've kind of embossed here, and I want to add in some of, I've got some white. This is just from my stash. They're little white thingies. All of a sudden I can't remember. And I have some that's actually mixed in with some little Prima Marketing art stones, art ingredients. And I think you can find these at like Michael's, Hobby Lobby. Anyway, so I'm going to add those because they kind of look like tiny little snowballs, right? So I'm going to add it in with some of this. Not a lot. I'm not a person that likes a great big full like shaker box. So I'm just going to add some of that in there. These cute little things. I might add a couple more of these little art stones. Probably what I should have done is like sprayed them white or something, but no worries. And then I'm going to come in with some of the chunky glitter glass, Reneabouquets in the diamond shade. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit in there just to give it that beautiful glitter. And as I am looking at it, I'm going to, probably shouldn't have added those last little bits of the art stones because I just don't want that many. I just want a little bit for texture. Kind of like I said, to look like little snowballs. So I'm going to take a few of them back out. Sequins. Oh my gosh, I couldn't think of sequins earlier. Added the little sequins. Okay, that's better. You know, just a few out makes all the difference to me. Alright, so I've got that. I've got the glitter glass in. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of the light gray glitter glass just to mesh in with the gray that I'm going to have on this. I don't know if it's going to be all, you know what, hold on just a minute. I might get my regular gray glitter glass because I think it's going to be just a little bit darker for what I am working on here. Okay, and never mind, because my other, I was thinking I had the lights, this is like really light gray, and they all come out different because, you know, they are tinted. They're all different colors and tinted, so this is kind of my darker gray. So I'm just going to add a tiny bit because I don't know that's really going to be seen a whole lot, but we'll still add a tiny bit in there. And I think I add a little bit of this Reneabouquets shard glitter glass just to give it that bigger texture. And what is that in my shard mix? And color that doesn't belong. And I think I want to add a few more sequins. And then I'm going to come in and add some of the Reneabouquets no-hole glass micro beads. And this again is in the silver. I mean, these are tiny. I want to show you. Can you? That's how tiny they are. But I love them. I love using them in mixed media. Love using them in the shaker box. And this is at the point too, if you have some of these beautiful beads and you want to add those, you can. You can also even come in and add Renee Carey's flat back pearls. Those would be super pretty in the shaker box. So lots of options to add in here. And I'm just going to add it. These are like tiny, like I said. So I'm just going to do a little at a time until I figure out if I have enough. I don't want to overdo with my... I'm going to just kind of peek. I'm going to put the right side down for a minute. Peek at what I've got here. So if I got that there, and then my snowflakes are in there, I think I just want to add a little bit more. All right. So it's a little trial and error. Back in with some more sequins. I want some more of those in there. I'm going to go back in with some more of the glitter glass. I know I don't have a lot of color in here, but that's okay, right? Except for an off color that doesn't belong. Get out of there. Okay. In with some more of the silver. Okay, and then also I want to go ahead and add, these are just some regular beads from my stash, little seed beads. I'm just going to add a few of those in there. Give it a little bit more texture. And Renee, of course, has plenty of different beads in her shop that you can use. And let me see what it looks like now, if I've got it full enough. I know, once it's hanging, it's all going to kind of sink to the bottom a little bit. So you kind of want to make sure you've got enough in there. I'm going to add a little bit of dusting of silver glitter. It gives me my glitter. And then this is just a big glitter from my stash, kind of like the shard, but I don't have a lot of that shard. So I'm going to add a little bit more of this kind of bigger glitter in there. All right, do we think we have enough now? 10 minutes later, we have... That's much better. And plus the glitter kind of sticks to it a little bit, so it kind of keeps some up higher. So that helps a lot too, because as it hangs on our thing, see, some of that glitter sticks up there, and that's actually good. I kind of want that so that it adheres, adheres to that acetate a little bit, so it's hanging upside down. It's not just all in the bottom. And I'm going to add a little bit of white glitter as well. And I'm going to add some... I actually have some of this, so you can put it whatever in you want, actually, of course. And I've showed it many a times. This is just kosher salt and glitter mix that kind of looks like snow. And I'm just going to put a little of that in there. Okay, not too much because the glitter will stick. Now, I'm going to add just 2 of these snowflakes, beautiful bit snowflakes. Just add 2 in there. Okay. And now we want to take the time to close up, because one of the snowflakes I'm going to have on the outside, we want to close up our shaker box. Right? Right, I've got everything in here, and now we're going to add our top. We're going to do just the same as we did the bottom. We're going to add, if you're using the Fabri-Tac glue, you're going to add a little bit of glue right up against the edge of that beautiful board scallop piece. Actually, nope, I'm going to take it back. I'm going to go ahead and add it onto... Remember we put that inner circle frame there? I'm going to add it onto there because I can see it a little bit better. Get my glue coming out of the nozzle here. but again, right near the edge, otherwise it goes right onto that acetate. And again, for the filler from Reneabouquets, we use the glitter glass in the diamond and the gray shades. We use the shard glitter glass. We use the no holes micro beads and silver. And of course, you could use the beautiful beads. You could use the flat back pearls. Lots of different options. I'm doing this in phases here. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and press on my outer piece right down onto there, just like that. And we have our beautiful shaker box. Look how cool that is. So fun to make. Just really cool. See the snowflakes bouncing around in there. When it's hanging, it's nice and full. The glitter, like I said, kind of adheres to the side, so that makes it kind of fun, and it just looks real nice and snowy and wintry. All right, so let's move on to the garland portion of this. Okay, so what we're going to start with is you need to figure out how long you want your string. I've chosen 2 strings here. Whenever I go to do like winter garland or Christmas garland, I always usually like to use this cute little pom-pom trim. You can get it most any place, including Walmart. And then I have this, it almost looks like shoelace, but it is like a trim. I got it at Walmart during Christmas. And then after Christmas they had like a ton of it on sale for like, 37 cents. So I picked up like everything they had left. And I measured this all out, and I've got it about 50 inches long after you've tied the loop. So the loop I add on probably about an extra 4 inches on each end. So I've got about 58 inches. Then you pull it in, add a loop. By the time I'm done, we're somewhere about 52 inches long. And no, my pom-pom trim isn't as long as the loop of the main trim, because that way, usually with the amount you get on a roll, I can get, enough for 2 garlands with the pom-pom trim. So, and then I tie a loop so that if people want to hang it, they've got a place to hang it. So both ends looped out. First, what I'm going to start out with, forgot to show you, luckily I remembered in time. I was all into getting the sequins and everything in, but remember at the beginning the beautiful printed word from Reneabouquets, the Let It Snow, and then I had embossed it. I forgot to put it inside. That was the main thing, and I was going to put it on the outside. I didn't like it as well, but the glue hadn't quite dried, so I was able to get the back off, got my Let It Snow inside, got my rest of my stuff back in, and there is my completed shaker box. Luckily, I just remembered just in time. Whew, because that's like, kind of the, main, it's in the center main piece. So what I'm going to do, usually when I do my garlands at the end, I've done garland videos before, but I never know when I have new subscribers, so this might be your first garland video. Apologize, it is a long video, but, I like to explain things like these in real time. But I like to add large ribbons, at the ends of my garland. So I have ahead of time made, I'm going to use this really beautiful gray and white trim. And most of you may notice it on the last video I put out for the winter table centerpiece. I'm choosing to use that again so it kind of matches. I have made 2 bows. I haven't put the centers on yet. I've got them cut because what I thought I would do is I'm going to attach my bow to the back of the garland right about at the, kind of right in front of the knot of that loop, and I'm going to use the centerpiece to wrap it around and glue it right on to the end of that. Okay, I'm going to do that at both ends. I'm going to do it with my trusty glue gun. I'm going to do it off camera to save you a little bit of time watching, but again, I'm just taking my bow that I've made. I wired the center together. I'm going to lay it right in front of the knot on that loop, and then I'm going to do the pretty center of the bow and wrap it around both the bow and the main string of the garland. Okay, so I've got both bows on, wrapped around the back, up a little bit, this part so they can hang. And what I want to do is I want to hang one of the really pretty Victorian snowflakes kind of from the center of that bow. And then I also want to put in, because this is a winter garland and I kind of wanted like a pom-pom theme to kind of go in with, you know, the printed beautiful board, I made pom-poms. There's lots of tutorials here on YouTube if you don't know how to make them. Easy. So I made cute pom-poms, 2 sizes, 2 little ones for my bows, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, like 6 big ones for the garland itself. So basically what I did is I just got some thread. This is just crochet thread from Walmart. Any thread will do. And I kind of looped it through one of the beautiful board Victorian snowflakes. And I'm just going to kind of glue to the center of my bow. I know I don't need it as long, so cut off some of that, but I want it to hang a little bit. Cute like that. Right, and then I've got my snowflake I made. I used really big, thick, chunky yarn that I bought from Walmart. And where the 2 halves come together, I've got those long pieces, so I'm just going to cut that off. And that's where I'm going to glue to the center of my bow. And glue. Super cute. I love those pom-poms. Look at that. Isn't that cute? Come on, you know it is. Here, I'll bring it in for you so you can see. Look how cute that looks. Okay. And then we have our little beautiful board Victorian snowflake hanging, and I'm going to do the same thing to the other side again, and I will be right back. Okay, so I have both ends going. Now this, you know, I just seem to like to pick projects that are hard to film. So we're going to have to work in sections, but of course there will be pictures up on my blog, up on the Reneabouquets blog, for you to see it in its entirety. But what I usually like to do now, once I get my ends in, I will kind of just like fold it in half and figure out where my center is and then work my way backwards. Okay. So here about is my center. And in my center is going to go our Let It Snow shaker box. I want to make sure. And then as I put the other stuff on, I basically just work in even sections, measuring with the ruler so everything is evenly apart. Alright, so what I want to do is a little piece, just something to lay there to mark my center while I'm messing here. Okay, so there's my center. Now also ahead of time, I have got this trim that I got from Walmart, gray and white. I'm just going to add it on to top of my piece here. And then I've got these really cute kind of frosty pine cones I got from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to add that kind of, I'm going to get a smaller one, but add it kind of at the bottom of my bow a little bit, or yeah, at the bottom of my bow a little bit, and we're going to attach my shaker box to the center of that garland. Alright, so I have got a half knot. What I decided to use at the top of the shaker box is some of the yarn that I used for the snowballs to kind of tie that same look in a little bit. And I've just got it as a half knot at the top for now. Also off camera, because I know this video is getting quite long, all those, the little snowflakes like we used on the ends of the bows, I went ahead because I knew I wanted to attach one to the bottom of the shaker. I just used a piece of that crochet thread and attached it to one of the bottom portions of that, tied a little bow, okay? And then also what I did is I wanted a couple of more, because I've got the snowflakes dangling from the bows. I've got it dangling from the center, or the bottom of the center piece of this shaker box, and I like to work in odd numbers. And so I also added, I've got 5 of these Victorian snowflakes, so I also added them to the bottom, just again using that crochet thread, real easy, and just tied a little bow to bottom of both of the doily, beautiful board doilies, okay, that look like snowflakes. Right? Easy, so the dangles, and I've got a little bit dangly going all the way across. Now also, off camera, remember I talked about, you know, I start in the center. I like to measure out with the ruler, evenly spaced. Now usually what I'll do is I'll lay my garland on the ground because I like to look at it standing up. I'll lay my pieces where I want them, and then I go back with the ruler and I kind of measure the space in between all my pieces. Okay, and maybe an easy tip for you, if you've got everything where you want and you've got it measured out right, then I'll usually, I like to take like these little twisty ties, and I did that off camera, and I just made just a little tie around all the areas where I'm going to be hanging from the garland, okay, just to make it easy so I don't have to keep going back and measuring. So it's just a nice little tip for you. And sometimes I'm lazy and I don't do that. I just leave things kind of hanging in the area if I'm working on the floor, and I just kind of attach. But you know, if you're constantly, you know, I'll do these like assembly line, and I'll do like 5 or 6 at a time. So maybe stopping to kind of twist isn't always beneficial for me, just because I'm in a hurry or something, but it is a good tip to help keep. So, and then usually I'm picking up my ruler, keep measuring, and it's done. When if I just twisty tie, it's easily set. So a little twisty tie, a little string or something like that in all the spaces where you want your pieces. So what we're going to do, all I did, like I said, I attached this to the top of, or the middle of the rope with that yarn. I only made 1/2 knot because I thought it would be fun to do something a little different, adding in, besides just the string and the pom-pom trim, I thought it would be fun to add in some cute small whitewashed sticks. I got these at Dollar Tree, and they had little organic bouquets of flowers, whitewash, things like that. They had sticks in them, and I just think it would be super fun to make it even, again, look more wintry. These sticks are about probably 12 inches long, 14 inches long. I'm only going to add 3 just to the top, very minimal. So I tied a 1/2 knot. I'm going to kind of lay down the stick next to that spot and then finish tying it with that yarn, and it will get secured there and also get secured in 2 spots. Let me bring this down just a little bit. Secured here and in 2 spots, you know, with my twisty ties where I'll be tying a couple of other things. So I'm just going to literally finish tying my knot. It just kind of looks about even right there. I'm just eyeballing that stick on there, tying the other knot, okay? And then I'm going to just finish it, making a cute little bow, adding another little bow at the top, just like that. So that is our centerpiece, and our stick is attached on, okay? Let me bring the camera back up. We're going to go ahead and move to the right side. I'm going to start with our next little twist tie there. That's going to be an easy spot to do. All I'm going to do is go ahead and tie these larger, I made 6 larger pom-poms to go on the garland as well. So I'm just going to kind of remove that little twist tie, save it for later, of course, if you're making a few of these. Pull that off in a minute, and in its spot, I'm going to, using the tails of the pom-pom, finish tying that stick on. I am just simply going to tie a knot, okay? And plus, you know, I don't want to glue the stick on or anything, because if, you know, someone buys this, they don't want the stick. But I guess, you know, apparently if they buy it, if I was to make more of these for a craft show or something like that, you know, they like it with the sticks. But if they don't, decide they want to take them off, easily removable. And I like to just leave on the little tails. And I may go along and shorten them later, but I usually just kind of like to leave them on. It adds more texture to the garland. All right, so we're going to move across. I'm kind of going faster now because I know this video is already close to an hour, if not over. So we're going to kind of move on down the line to the next little twisty tie. In this spot, I've got these cute little little chalkboards, mini chalkboards, already on a clothespin. Found these at Dollar Tree, super cute. I'm going to literally just clip it in to the spot where this twisty tie is, but I'm also going to add in one of these printed beautiful board images. Remember, this is Diane's snowman, so we're going to add that in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little hole in the top of the hat. I've got some, it's not like totally white, it's kind of an off-white but white twine that I got at Walmart. And I'm going to first add the snowman with the twine, and then we're just going to clip this over the top of that. Okay, I cut pieces, my twine about 10 inches, so I've got long enough to tie with. If I want to tie bows, I can cut off the excess. That is fine with me. Right, so I've got my little hole puncher here. Just going to kind of eyeball it right near the top of the hat, a nice little hole. Perfect, got our hole. And I'm going to go ahead and do the same on the other printed beautiful board, Jack's snowman. Tie it right on there. Perfect, all done. Have our holes. Easy peasy. Now I'm going to thread this twine through the hole. Gotta love getting twine through the hole. There we go. Kind of even it up here a little bit. I'm going to remove my little twisty tie. Bring in this. And again, I'm not going to tie a bow or anything. I'm going to kind of see how low I want to dangle this. Or if I want it mostly all the way up to the top. Really close with this. I think I'm going to go most to the top. It's dangling just a bit, but not too much. Okay, I'm going to get this tied. Just one single knot. Sometimes if I kind of, there we go, eyeball it, make sure I'm still in my spot. Easy, just like that. Now I know it's kind of hanging, so we're going to go in and figure out, and then also what I'm going to figure out, if I want to leave these little loops on, not that long of course, but you know, more added texture, because we don't have enough texture as it is. And see how I want to do this. Okay, and we're going to go ahead, got a nice tight knot, and we're just going to clip it. I think on these we just really don't need that excess thread hanging, and because basically what I'm going to do is I am going to hot glue this, but I'm going to hot glue it kind of right over that knot so that that stays on. Okay. Right, and then I'm going to go ahead and come back and add one of these cute snowflakes, again from Reneabouquets. I'm going to glue it on the top of our little chalkboard. I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac glue. Just a tiny bit going up. There we go. Oops. And then we're going to see right there. There we go. Just add a little bit more fun to our little sign. So isn't that stinking cute? We are on our way. All right. Okay. So now we're going to go on to the next little bit, and we're going to have another snowball here. Now this is a spot where I want to go ahead and place another one of those sticks. Here we go. So it's, you know, it looks like it's kind of attached behind that sign, but not really. Okay, so let's take off our little twist tie there. Get our snowball in there. Grab grab our stick along with it. All right. Super cute. Little half knot there. Perfect. And another little knot to finish the knot, I guess. Okay, got our stick going on in there. Super cute. Just that little bit of texture. And you know, when it's hanging, that stick will hang better, of course. And since it's not glued on or anything, you can kind of move it around as you need to. All right, and just for a moment, I'm going to just skip that next twisty wire. And I'm going to come down to the last twisty wire and hook on that last snowball so that that stick is on there nice and secure. Just tie one knot, and then we'll move back to that middle one, and that will finish this side for now. A little bit more to go. Okay, and I kind of like my, yeah, that's a little bit long in one spot, so I'm kind of weird that way. I like my strings to at least be kind of level. All right, so our stick is securely tied in. Let's move to that middle spot, and this is where we're going to attach, you know, our cute little snowflake ensemble here. And again, we're just going to use a twisty or a white twine here. Right, easy. This one's nice and easy. And I'm going to go ahead and just, because it's long already, I want to go this way. We're going to just kind of bring it right up to that top. Don't really need it to dangle. And let me take a moment. Let me see here. Okay, so just a little thinking moment off camera. I forewent the twine. Wasn't liking the off shade. I wanted it more white. So I went back to the kind of crochet thread, tied that on, little bow for now. And then I also changed in the snowman. I didn't like the twine hanging, so pulled him apart and added the white thread as well. Now, we've got this side almost complete. Everything that's dangling is dangling that needs to dangle. So what I'm going to do off camera is I'm going to just repeat the process on the other side. I'm going to add the other snowballs. I'm going to add the other printed beautiful board of Jack's snowman. I'm going to add the other snowflakes from Reneabouquets, add the last stick, and then we're going to come back in and finish this up. Okay, so I've got the other side finished and tied, just so it all looks like what we did on the right side. I've got one little snowflake left that I think is going to be really cute just on the outside of this shaker box, just to bring in a little more 3D look. Kind of goes in with the little snowflakes that are on the signs. Bring something to the outside edge. Just going to kind of attach it just like right in here. Just perfect. We're going to let that set. While we're letting it set, now remember I used this wonderful ribbon on the bows. I've cut some kind of coordinating white and gray fabric that I had. They are in about 6-inch strips, about an inch wide, and I'm going to tie these kind of in between stuff for texture, as well as use some of these great white dusted pine cones that I got from Dollar Tree, just to further kind of tie in the look of a winter garland. So we're going to again kind of start on this right side. I'm going to start right in kind of next to the ribbon, in between the space of the ribbon and the snowball. And I usually, I just make it easy. Put it, in this case, around the stick and the trim, and I just tie just like that. I just tie a half knot and I let it hang. Sometimes, depending, how long I want that fabric to be, that's it. just like that. And then what I'll do is I'm going to come in with a little acorn or a little pine cone right here. But let's go ahead and finish tying. I am going to go ahead and tie one onto this, and you can tie just like wherever you want, wherever you think it looks good, just adding a little bit more texture to the string, the main part of your garland. I'm going to just tie a little bit more onto the top of the snowflake because it's a little bare for me since I switched to that thinner string. I'm going to go around the stick and kind of in between the bow of that string. Just like that, just one single. That way the bows can kind of still stick out like that for texture. One little half knot. Okay, and again a pine cone will go right there, possibly. I'm not sure on that because of the snowflakes. That'll be a thinking moment off camera. I'm also going to kind of come right in here, and because you know the stick moves around a little bit, I'm going to place a little strip right in here in between this printed beautiful board and this pom-pom, or in this case snowballs, right? Those are meant to be snowballs. Kind of right in the center there. Perfect, just like that. And I'll adjust those pieces in a minute just to get the fabric facing outward. Perfect. Okay, and then I'm going to add one more right in here on this side of the stick. Just like that. Okay, so off camera, I'm going to kind of adjust these so that the print of the fabric is outward, and I'm going to do the exact same thing on the left side in the exact same positions. Okay, so I've got the other side all set, all the fabrics tied on. I even got all of my pine cones but two. I know you guys know how to glue pine cones, but we're going to go ahead and glue a couple here. I am going to add one above the top of this large snowflake ensemble. Looks really cute with the pine cones on. Actually really makes it kind of look rustic in winter. Hold it there for just a second, and then we'll just kind of take it from one end to the other and we'll view our creation. And again, like I said, there will be pictures on my blog as well as the Reneabouquets blog. Of course, as I said at the beginning of the video, all the links down below to everything Reneabouquets. I'll also have the links down to my social media. Come follow me on Instagram. I'm very active on there, and if any of my ideas ever you know, spark you to create your own and you are on Instagram, please tag me. I'd love to see your creations. I'd love to see how I inspire you, and then in turn, you know, gosh, you inspire me as well, right? That's how this whole craft world evolves. Alright, this just looks really cute. I can't wait for you to see it as a whole. Alright, pine cones are on. Okay, so let's take it from the right to the left. We've got, of course, our cute little bow ensemble with our pom-pom and the beautiful board Victorian snowflake hanging down. We come across to our next little area with our strips of fabric and our pine cones, our beautiful board doily one set, and another beautiful board Victorian snowflake, all from Reneabouquets, of course, coming down to more hand-created snowballs or pom-poms, little sign. Here's beautiful bits from the beautiful board snowflakes, printed beautiful board Diane's snowman, coming across to the center, which I just love. This as the center. Remember, this is the beautiful board box, the ornament number 2 shaker box, and then the beautiful words "Let It Snow," more snowflakes, all from Reneabouquets. Coming down to the other side, again printed beautiful board, Jack's Snowman, super cute, kind of down here to a matching set of all our cute snowflakes printed, our beautiful board, and then ending down here at, hard to do with the sticks, right? Ending down here with our last Victorian snowflake and bow. So, long tutorial, but I really wanted to explain this in real time. I encourage you to try this, make your own. I encourage you to go get beautiful snowflake supplies and beautiful printed board supplies from Reneabouquets.com. I thank you for sharing your time with me, and I'll talk with you again soon. Bye.